There's something that needs to be said about how men over 50 approach one of the most basic aspects of health, and it's being ignored by most doctors, most health advice, and certainly by most men themselves. This comes from years of clinical practice, from treating thousands of men who came in complaining of fatigue, poor circulation, brain fog, declining vitality, and a general sense that their bodies just weren't working the way they used to. And the root cause, more often than not, wasn't what they expected. It wasn't low testosterone by itself. It wasn't just aging. It was something far more fundamental that almost nobody was addressing properly. The message today is about hydration, but not in the way most people think about it. Not the standard advice to drink 8 glasses of water a day. That advice, while not wrong, is incomplete. For men over 50, and especially over 60, drinking plain water alone is often not enough. In fact, a man can drink those 8 glasses faithfully every single day and still be functionally dehydrated at the cellular level. His cells can be starving for proper hydration even as he's making frequent trips to the bathroom. This is Dr. Rachel Ross, a board-certified urologist who has spent decades working specifically with men's health issues. What's been observed in clinical practice over and over is a pattern that most men don't recognize until it's pointed out to them. They drink water. They stay hydrated, or so they think, but they still feel tired in the afternoon. They still struggle with circulation issues. They still experience that mental fog that makes it hard to focus. They still feel like their bodies are running at half capacity. When these men come in for treatment, when their blood work gets analyzed, when their symptoms get investigated, the same thing shows up repeatedly. Functional dehydration combined with mineral depletion. Their bodies aren't just low on water. They're low on the specific minerals that make water actually work at the cellular level. Here's what happens as men age past 50, and especially past 60. The body undergoes several changes that directly impact hydration, and most men have no idea these changes are occurring. First, the thirst signal weakens. When someone is younger, their brain sends clear signals when the body needs water. They feel thirsty. They drink. Problem solved. But as men age, that signal becomes less reliable. They can be significantly dehydrated without feeling particularly thirsty, so they don't drink as much as they should, even though their bodies need just as much water, if not more. Second, the kidneys become less efficient. They don't conserve water as effectively as they used to. This means that water passes through the system faster, leaving less time for the body to absorb and use it properly. Men over 60 often notice they're urinating more frequently, especially at night. That's partly because the kidneys aren't holding on to water the way they should. Third, and this is the part most people don't understand, the cell membranes themselves change. Every cell in the body has an electrical charge. That charge is what allows water and nutrients to pass through the cell membrane and actually get inside the cell where they're needed. As men age, particularly after 50, those cell membranes lose some of their electrical charge. They become less receptive to water. So even when water is available in the bloodstream, it has trouble getting into the cells where it's supposed to do its work. This is where minerals come in. Minerals are what create and maintain that electrical charge. Without the right minerals in the right amounts, cells literally cannot absorb water properly. The water just passes by, through the kidneys, out of the body, without ever getting into the cells that desperately need it. Think of it this way. Water is the fuel, but minerals are the spark plugs. Without spark plugs, the fuel just sits there. It doesn't ignite. It doesn't power anything. That's what's happening in the bodies of most men over 50 who are drinking plain water but still feeling the effects of dehydration. So what are these critical minerals and why does each one matter? The first is magnesium. This is often called the relaxation mineral, and for good reason. Magnesium is responsible for relaxing blood vessels and muscles throughout the body. When magnesium levels are adequate, arteries stay relaxed and open, Blood flows freely, blood pressure stays reasonable, muscles work smoothly, and energy production in cells operates efficiently. But more than 75% of men over 50 are deficient in magnesium. That deficiency shows up as tight, constricted blood vessels, poor circulation, high blood pressure, muscle cramps and stiffness, difficulty sleeping, low energy, mood problems, brain fog. Many of the symptoms men blame on aging are actually symptoms of magnesium deficiency. When magnesium gets added back into the daily routine, and specifically when it gets added to morning water, the effects can be dramatic. Blood vessels relax, circulation improves, blood pressure comes down, energy increases, sleep deepens, mental clarity improves, all from addressing one mineral deficiency. The second critical mineral is sodium, but not from table salt. This needs to be understood clearly. The sodium that helps hydration comes from natural, unrefined sources like sea salt or Himalayan pink salt. These contain not just sodium but dozens of trace minerals that work together to support cellular function. Sodium is the gatekeeper. It's what allows water to actually enter cells. Without enough sodium, water stays outside the cells. With the right amount of natural sodium, water flows in where it's needed. The key is a small amount of high-quality salt, not the processed sodium chloride that's in packaged foods and table salt. That processed salt actually makes dehydration worse and drives blood pressure up. A tiny pinch of natural salt in morning water, combined with magnesium, creates the electrical environment cells need to absorb water properly. This is not the same as eating salty foods or shaking table salt on meals. This is strategic use of mineral-rich salt to support cellular hydration. The third mineral is potassium. This is the balancer. Potassium works in partnership with sodium to maintain proper electrical charge in cells, to keep water inside cells once it gets there, to regulate heartbeat, to control muscle function, and to manage blood flow throughout the body. Most older adults are significantly deficient in potassium. The standard diet doesn't provide nearly enough, and the body's ability to retain potassium decreases with age. This deficiency contributes to high blood pressure, irregular heartbeat, muscle weakness, and fatigue. Adding potassium back, particularly in the evening, helps rebalance the electrical system of the body. It stabilizes blood pressure. It supports proper heart rhythm. It helps muscles relax and recover. It promotes deeper, more restorative sleep. The fourth mineral is zinc. This is the commander of male vitality. Zinc directly regulates testosterone production. It supports immune function. It's critical for prostate health. It's involved in thousands of enzymatic processes throughout the body. Men over 50 often become progressively more zinc deficient, and this shows up as declining testosterone, reduced vitality, weakened immune response, poor wound healing, and loss of that masculine drive and energy. Adding zinc back, particularly in liquid form for better absorption, can restore testosterone function, improve energy, sharpen mental clarity, and support overall male health. Now, how does this translate into practical action? What should men actually do with this information? The recommendation is a simple 3-step daily mineral hydration protocol. Step 1 happens first thing in the morning. Before coffee, before breakfast, drink a large glass of water with half a teaspoon of magnesium glycinate powder or magnesium citrate powder dissolved in it, plus a small pinch of unrefined sea salt or Himalayan pink salt. This combination immediately begins opening blood vessels, relaxing muscles, supporting circulation, and enabling proper cellular hydration. The effects of this morning practice are often noticeable within the first week. Men report feeling less stiff and heavy when they wake up. They feel more clear-headed. They move more easily. That sluggish, dragging feeling that used to dominate their mornings starts to lift. Step 2 happens around midday, before that typical afternoon slump hits. Add a few drops of liquid zinc to a glass of water and drink it. Zinc is better absorbed in liquid form than in pills, and taking it in the middle of the day provides support exactly when energy tends to crash and focus tends to fade. This midday zinc practice supports testosterone function throughout the afternoon and evening. It maintains immune vigilance. It keeps mental sharpness from declining as the day progresses. Men who implement this consistently report that the afternoon energy crash they'd come to accept as normal simply stops happening. Step 3 happens in the evening, either after dinner or after any physical activity. Mix 1/2 to 1 scoop of a potassium-rich electrolyte powder into water and drink it. This should be a clean electrolyte product, low in sugar, focused on potassium and other key minerals. This evening practice helps the body recover from the day's activities. It rebalances electrolytes that were depleted through normal metabolic processes and any sweating or exertion. It prepares the body for restorative sleep. It helps stabilize blood pressure overnight. It supports the cellular repair processes that happen during sleep. Now, what can men realistically expect from following this protocol consistently? In the first week, the most common changes are feeling less dry and heavy in the morning, thinking more clearly, moving more easily upon waking, and experiencing less brain fog throughout the day. These might seem like small changes, but they represent the body beginning to hydrate properly at the cellular level for the first time in years or even decades. In the second week, energy becomes more sustained throughout the day. The afternoon crashes diminish or disappear. Focus and mental clarity improve noticeably. Mood tends to stabilize. These changes reflect improved cellular energy production and better electrical communication between cells. By the third week, blood flow improves in measurable ways. Skin looks fresher and more vital. Sleep deepens. Recovery from exercise or physical work accelerates. Circulation throughout the entire body, including to the extremities and to sexual organs, improves noticeably. Morning strength and stamina return. This is when men often report feeling like themselves again, like their bodies are working the way they remember from years earlier. These changes aren't magical. They're not the result of some exotic supplement or pharmaceutical intervention. They're simply the natural result of giving the body the minerals it needs to hydrate properly and function the way it's designed to function. The concept here is called electrical hydration, and it's based on understanding that hydration isn't just about water volume. It's about creating the proper electrical environment in cells so that water can actually get in and do its job. Without that electrical charge, without those key minerals, water alone isn't enough. This is particularly critical for men over 50 because the changes in kidney function, thirst signaling, and cell membrane receptivity mean that the old approach of just drinking more water doesn't solve the problem. The body needs the electrical component restored. It needs minerals. One of the most common questions men ask is whether they can get these minerals from food. The answer is, theoretically yes, practically no. To get adequate magnesium from food, someone would need to eat large amounts of specific vegetables, nuts, and seeds every single day. To get adequate potassium, they'd need multiple servings of specific fruits and vegetables daily. To get adequate zinc, they'd need to eat oysters or other zinc-rich foods regularly. Most men aren't doing this. Their diets don't provide nearly enough of these minerals. And even if they tried to eat enough mineral-rich foods, the decreased absorption efficiency that comes with age means they still might not get adequate amounts into their cells. The direct approach of adding these minerals to water bypasses those problems. It ensures adequate intake. It supports optimal absorption. It provides the minerals in a form the body can use immediately. Another common question is about safety. Can someone take too much of these minerals? The answer is that yes. It's theoretically possible to overdo any supplement, but the amounts being recommended here are well within safe ranges for the vast majority of men. The half teaspoon of magnesium is far below the upper safe limit. The pinch of natural salt provides minimal sodium, far less than what most men get from their regular diet. The potassium from electrolyte powders is typically designed to be safe for daily use. The few drops of liquid zinc provide a modest, appropriate dose. That said, men who have kidney disease, who take specific medications, or who have particular health conditions should consult with their doctor before adding any supplements, including minerals. This is especially true for potassium, which needs to be used cautiously by anyone with kidney problems or anyone taking medications that affect potassium levels. For most men over 50, though, these minerals represent a safe, natural way to address deficiencies that are almost certainly already present and already causing problems. The broader point here is about understanding what aging actually means versus what decline means. Aging is inevitable. The body changes with time. That's natural and unavoidable. But decline, the progressive loss of function and vitality that most people associate with aging, is often not inevitable. Much of what gets blamed on age is actually the result of accumulated deficiencies: poor cellular hydration, disrupted electrical communication between cells, and insufficient mineral support. When those underlying problems get addressed, when the body receives what it actually needs to function properly, decline slows dramatically or even reverses. Energy returns, circulation improves, mental clarity sharpens, physical capability increases. This isn't about turning back the clock. It's about allowing the body to function at its actual capacity rather than operating in a depleted, mineral-starved state. It's about the difference between a 65-year-old man who feels 65 and vital versus a 65-year-old man who feels 80 and declining. The protocol being described here, this three-step daily mineral hydration practice, is remarkably simple. It requires no prescriptions, no expensive treatments, no complicated interventions. It requires magnesium powder, natural salt, liquid zinc, and an electrolyte powder. All of these are readily available, relatively inexpensive, and easy to use. What it does require is consistency. This isn't something someone does for a few days and then stops. The benefits build over time. The body needs consistent mineral support to maintain proper cellular hydration and electrical function. This needs to become part of the daily routine, as automatic as brushing teeth or taking a shower. For men who implement this consistently for at least 3 weeks, the changes are typically substantial enough that they have no desire to stop. They feel the difference. They experience the improved energy, circulation, mental clarity, and vitality. They recognize that they've found something that actually works, something that addresses root causes rather than just masking symptoms. Now, here's what needs to happen next. This information is useless unless it translates into action. Understanding the problem doesn't solve the problem. Only action solves the problem. First, men need to acquire the necessary supplies. Magnesium glycinate or magnesium citrate powder. A container of high-quality unrefined sea salt or Himalayan pink salt. Liquid zinc drops. A clean, low-sugar electrolyte powder that's high in potassium. These should be obtained this week, not someday, not when it's convenient. This week. Second, the protocol needs to start immediately upon getting those supplies. Morning magnesium and salt water, midday zinc drops, evening electrolyte drink, every day, no skipping. No waiting until tomorrow, consistent daily implementation. Third, the practice needs to continue for a minimum of 3 weeks. That's how long it takes to fully recharge cellular hydration, to replenish depleted mineral stores, to restore proper electrical function throughout the body. Some men notice changes in days, others take the full 3 weeks. Either way, consistency is essential. Fourth, this information needs to be shared with other men who need it. Too many men are suffering unnecessarily from functional dehydration and mineral depletion. They're blaming age for symptoms that are actually correctable. They're accepting decline as inevitable when it's not. They need to hear this message. Share it with friends, brothers, fathers, sons, co-workers. Start conversations about mineral hydration. Help other men understand what's possible. The body is designed to function well. It's designed to maintain energy, circulation, vitality, and mental clarity throughout a long life. But it can only do that if it has the raw materials it needs. Water alone isn't enough. Water, plus the right minerals, delivered consistently, creates the conditions for optimal function. This is the circulation code. This is electrical hydration. This is how men over 50 can reclaim the vitality they thought was gone forever. Not through complex medical interventions, not through expensive treatments, but through simple daily mineral support that addresses the actual root cause of their symptoms. The work starts now. Get the supplies. Start the protocol. Maintain consistency. Watch what happens. Feel the difference. Then share it with others who need it. Aging is inevitable. Decline is optional. Choose vitality. Choose electrical hydration. Choose to give the body what it actually needs. The results speak for themselves.